recording. We're gonna go. Yeah, it's 4:21. I'm starting. So today is about pulling government lists and how to do it the best, and just basically, I gotta make sure I can see the document on there for you. Yep, you guys can see it. Nice. Um, so this is just the second best list you can get because there's three types of lists. The first is your own. The second is the government list, and the third is the pay per lead, which I'll probably do a pay per lead. I've never actually done it to be frank, but I'll do a video about that later. And the government lists are the second best because they basically are going to have just the most information with the least competition with it. Yes, of course, there is still competition, but for some of them, I found not a lot of wholesalers on them, and some I found they're gone within a minute. So it kind of matters your district. Oh, hello? Anthony's there. Oh, nice. No, you're good. This one's gonna be recorded different than last time. No, none of the. I'm just gonna say it to you too because you just came in. The last time the audio was kind of being like not the best. I'm also gonna do camera. I forgot about that. Heyo, nice. You guys get to see my ugly mug. Not really, but that's the nice thing about being a wholesaler. You can look however you want. And this one, it's going to be recorded, but it's only having my audio on my mic. It's not going to have anyone else's like the last two have. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. All right, cool. Back to where I was at. So the top three lists of the government lists, and this is pretty standard for what everyone thinks, is number one, code violations. That's the one that's typically the easiest to get your first deal. Two is probates, and three is pre-foreclosure. Now, you always want to tackle, I don't even actually bring this up in here, but you always want to tackle more than one list at a time, in my opinion. Even if you're only doing like 10 probates a day, like cold calling and then 100 like code violations, even if that's the ratio, I typically like to do two lists at a time. If you do just one list, you'll go through it really quick, which is good when you're starting, but I like to at least have feel like I know I'm gonna have a backup. If you're just starting though, feel free to always do the only one list, especially if you're brand new, because we have some people in here that just joined and they've never done any cold calling or any kind of deals, or they're completely new. So that's the best way to do it. And the reason that this is ranked is number one, the code violations, because it has the best chance of getting your first deal. It has quantity, and you're gonna make decent money on it. Usually, I don't have the actual figures, but from what I remember, with Zach saying, the code violations is around a 10K pop on average. Maybe it's a little lower than that, but that's a good one. Probates are number two. They're the easiest and the longest conversations to have. So that's the nice part is if you're just starting out, you want to talk to somebody, you can be like, hey, I'm going to start maybe with probates. It's kind of a sad situation, yes, but they're not very distressed and they're not very angry. They're just grieving. So you have to be okay with grief, but you don't have to be facing somebody that's like, hey, I have to go sell my property this week. Like, can you help me? It's not very stressful. It's a lot less stressful than a lot of other lists. It generates the biggest money, which is why it's number two. It's a cash cow. And sometimes the lists are behind paywalls. I've encountered that, and that's what prevented me from getting into probates to begin with. The easiest way to get around the paywall is to simply JV. And I'm not even going to put that as in a note for people to know. They're going to have to ask, and you have to be part of the stream and watch it. So if you want to get behind the paywall, the easiest way is JV with somebody that has the exact same list. Figure out who wholesales in that area. Ask them, hey, I'll call the prebates or the probates, and we can split it somehow you want. And I think I went through all the types of government lists. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think I cut off. But yeah, there's a list of them. I think we all know they have different kinds of lists. I might have forgot one, but I don't think I did. And then pre-foreclosures are the third. They're the best to text. They have a decent money rate and they have a good amount of quantity. And they're constantly updating and easy to find lists, but they're the hardest to reach. And they also typically need to be sold within like a certain time period. I should also add have to know state laws first. So you have to know your state laws for pre-foreclosures. In Washington, for example, the tenant has 30 days in order to basically, they have to have a notice 30 days before, or not tenant, but like the owner of the property has 30 days before the county will take it over. And they have to be told of that. And some places it's longer, and sometimes it actually goes up to 60 days in Washington. So it really matters. You have to know your laws. You have to know how long they'll have, what it'll be at, what process it is. It's kind of a bit to learn. It's got a little bit of a learning curve and it's a little more stressful, but they're really motivated. So it's you're gonna find a lot of motivated sellers. You just have to, the best way to reach them is, like I said, texting them. I think we all know that. And here's where to find each list type. The easiest way is simply AI search through your browser, a browser search that says something like Houston area code enforcement email, and then send an email. And the reason I say send an email and not go through the website itself is because you'll, even if you don't know what you're doing, people will see that as genuinity. And I've had a lot more lists that I've gotten because I've pulled dozens of lists where just me acting like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help guide me in this direction? And they'll see that as an error, whereas opposed to if you're sending a request right to the website, it's not got the same level of rapport. And some different types of lists are better or worse about it. If anyone ever has a question, by the way, feel free to just interrupt me at any time. We're good. Um, the best is when you get an email and you can directly do one-on-one to do it instead of a portal. It makes it much easier to organize and communicate. Also, you can build rapport and with the people, get to know their names, maybe even meet them in person if you're local, and it will be a smooth process. The best leads I've ever gotten from have been from JVs and from emails. It's just, it seems weird that people email so much info, but they really do. Like those are the best ones, and some are really chill about it. Shout out to my fire department in Spokane. They're so chill every time. I could ask for the list like literally every month, and it'd always be like, "Hello, how you doing?" Every county's portal is different, so while almost all information between the government is shared with all departments, accessing it looks different on every single one. Below, I'll be showing my list. And here's a tip that you might not have known in your life. All government information is shared between all departments, basically. Not all of it, but almost all. So the IRS is connected to food stamps, which is connected to like safety, which is connected to OSHA. Like they're all connected. Like they all can kind of see. That's how they kind of get going. So don't think they're like separate entities. Think of it as all one big entity. And code violations is a part of that. The pre-foreclosures are part of that. The probate process, like it's all part of it. Like all the recording is all done. Now we're gonna go over every individual list and kind of just where you can get it. And a lot of it is, like I said, it's kind of dependent on your area. Some of them are different. Some of them might take a little bit longer to find, but the longer and harder it is to find, the less wholesalers there is. And if you find that the person that you get in contact with is like, oh, I've never had anyone ask, or like they kind of don't know the process in themselves, that's a really good find usually. So for pre-foreclosures, public records, or county of the clerk, it's called list or pendants or notice of default. You can call the numbers as well, and they will show you. So I've actually done that before, where I'm like, hey, can you show me? I called my county of the clerk, can you show me where the notice of defaults are and like the pre-foreclosures? And they'll totally do it. It's like a free and easy list. They can't actually privatize that list, so that one's never behind a paywall. Utility, this is the individual utility itself. You might need to get lucky with private companies or if you know anyone working for one, but typically they're a hard list to get, but they're very, very motivated. I've not had much luck with it, I'm not gonna lie. But if you do, obviously it's very powerful because, like I said, it's super hard to get. So if it's a water company or electricity company and someone's been living 2 weeks without power, they are very motivated to move. They know they're not, if they know they're not going to be able to get out of the situation, then they are extremely motivated. So, but the problem is the companies don't really like to share the info. If I had more info on how to get to them, I would add that, but the best caveat I could say is one, go in person, and two, try and just say like, hey, I'm making a research project. I'm doing this as an individual thing. Like, I just kind of want to know. I would go to college here, or however you gotta word it, because they're gonna be very very cagey about it. They do not like giving out their client list basically. And then the rest records, that's pretty obvious. You can go to police stations. I will add a caveat to this. Arrest records are not always the best design. Like they don't always have the best layout. So you will have to go through it yourself and make sure it's in a decent layout. And if it not, feel free to ask them. I know there's a bit of authority there, so you kind of don't want to ask them for more, but you can totally ask them like, hey, I can't understand your format. Can you please send it a different way? Because sometimes it's literally just parcel numbers and different things like that. It's just hard to read. So kind of matters how they do it. Just if you can't read it, then ask them to send a simpler version of it. And they might have to manually do that, but they serve the public. So, they work for us. So if you have a question for them and that they're kind of obligated to fill out, they'll likely do it. And then tax delinquencies, county of the clerk, and then you've got to filter for liens or requests on liens, and it needs to be 2 missed payments. So if they miss 2 tax payments on the property, that's when they go into tax delinquency. It's not one. That's one thing a lot of people don't know is that it's not going to be the first one that you miss. You can actually miss 2 tax payments. I don't recommend it, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. um, and then fire damage property, the firefighters, and they're the chillest dudes, and typically I shouldn't really say dudes. I should say people. Peoples. And typically really easy to pull. I've had more success pulling the fire damage property list than any list I've ever had. And it's because you don't have to go to the county clerk. You don't have to go through any big agency. You can literally do what the individual fire stations in the area and ask, hey, can I have it for this area? Can you pull like the Aberdeen County once for it, and if they don't have all of them, they need to go through other ones. They'll tell you where to go. They really are just super chill. They're really nice people. So don't be afraid to hit up fire damage properties, and you can get some deals like that. It's a bit more rare. It's not the best list, I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely a easy one to add on, and you can pull it way easier than other ones. So probates. Oh, I think. Oh, code violations is down there, I guess. So probate's kind of the clerk, and some softwares do it as well. So this video won't be showing softwares. I go over that a little bit later. I'm going to make a separate different one of it because I can show 5 different softwares, and it's going to take hours for me to go through all the different features and all explaining everything. I've learned through them all, but typically it's going to be a paid software, and if you want to not do that, then you have to go to the county clerk, sometimes paywall. And if you're wondering, should I pay for the paywall to get the probate leads? If you do that, only do it within the last month or so and make sure that you pulled it at the right time. And I mean, you get as many as you well, no, you're gonna probably pay per individual one. So yeah, no, I do not recommend paying for them. It can be pricey or it can not be. I mean, sometimes it's $2 paid and you get 30 leads, and sometimes it's $2 for like 5 numbers. And if no one answers those 5 numbers, you really feel like you wasted money. So definitely a little more advanced with the probates. Not getting them, I recommend JV. JVing, you can have people with software. If you don't have software, pull those lists for you, and then that's like the easiest way to do it. And then here's one more last thing about this software. Software such as X-Leads and Deal Machine can find tax leads, pre-foreclosures, and probates. And actually do find a couple other ones. This will be a separate video within the month or next month. If you're wondering where to start, code violations. Easy list, typically not many liens, and not a lot of problems or worry of foreclosure, so not as rushed. And you're like, I can't find the code violations though. Sad face. Well, code violations are the local code enforcement ask for all open codes currently. Now, if yours doesn't have a local code enforcement and they don't have that, and I have seen this. Oh, actually, this is the next tip I forgot about. Yeah, so trick. You can call the local police station, and it's a total care thing to do. But you can ask for what number you would report a code violation to, such as trash all over your property. Say one of my neighbors has trash all over their property. Where do I go to report this? And they will directly link you to the code violations. And it's kind of like, oh, you're just kind of playing it a little bit, but it's how it works. And every single county allows this. I don't know why it disallows this, but every police county will link you to where code violations go. Sometimes the police station itself actually is the code violations office, which I encountered that when I started virtually wholesaling in South Carolina, and I was really confused because I'm like, you guys don't have any code violations in your county. Where do I go? And people were telling me go to the officers, and I'm like, well, why am I going to officers over somebody having too high of lawns? This is ridiculous. I don't know why they do it that way, but sometimes they do. I don't know what to say, but you can always call them. You can always call the police stations and ask, like, hey, I want to report a property code violation. Where do I go to do that? Now, if don't go to that first, try and find it the other way. This is more like a last resort or like a later on thing, but it's a great way to find some. Or you can go in person and ask, and like, hey, if I want to do, if you're local, And then what if I can't get a list or they won't give you a list? If you're virtual, look for a new list type to pull or get a new market. Or worst case scenario, pull a freedom of information request, which is going to be a hassle. I've never done it. Takes a long while, but it will get you the list eventually. So those are your three options. You're either going to look for a new list, you're going to either go to a new market, or you're going to just have to do the information request. You can be tenacious. I would say definitely don't try and just give up immediately. If they just do it, I would try and maybe hit like I would say after trying again or keep trying. But keep asking for it monthly. If they don't give it to you the first month, maybe something will change. It might be a new person. It might be they'll be like, okay, this guy's really like he's adamant about it. So yeah, we'll just give him the list. Remember there are people behind it. They're doing their job like everyone else. So if they're cagey about it, don't really go to the freedom request and ask unless you absolutely have to. I wouldn't recommend it though, but I don't know. I've just heard bad things. I can't say either way though. If local, first you should try online. If online doesn't work for you, you can't find out where to go, then go to person to your city hall or your county clerk and ask for the records in person. If you ask for records of anything in person, no matter what kind of record it is, even the security guards there know where usually to go, so you can just ask them and they'll be like, hey, all right, go there. It kind of all matters the division of the city, how big it is. Some have multiple departments, some have small. One all city hall has everything. So, but typically the city hall will have it, and the county clerk is recording all records. So that's why the county clerk has all these different lists. And then now we're gonna get into the health sponsor. I love it. I'm doing it. Okay, today's topic is B12 and fiber, and this is basically a microorganism. Well, B12 is basically B12. This is basically a microorganism that lives alongside our body in our gut flora. B12 essentially was stripped from the environment with our micro-cleansing of all things because we used to get it from dirt. B12 is essential for a healthy brain, good energy, and good gut flora. I recommend most highly B12 that has been stored and bought in fridges as they are better than powders of pill. And here's a little side note tip for the people actually watching or that watch the video. B12 stays in your system for up to 3 to 4 years. So if you have a bunch of it in the past, you don't necessarily have to keep taking it. You can kind of take a break, come and go with it. You don't have to do it all the time, always supplement it. And yeah, B12 is just something that a lot of people have lost because we have become so clean orientated and we don't really eat dirt very much anymore. And that's what it was. It was microorganisms for the dirt. So and then there's fiber. Fiber feeds the good bacteria and are essentially probiotic for your body. It helps clear your mind and heal your body. I thought I had a third one there, but I don't. 98% of Americans do not get enough fiber and or are supplementing it with crappy fiber supplements. I advise not to do the supplements when you can easily get your fiber after eating. If you notice your gut's ever bloated after you're eating something truly healthy like a salad or any kind of green or something leafy that had a lot of fiber, that means that your body is not adjusted to that amount of fiber and you kind of need to work your way up. And you got to increase with like more and more fiber as it goes, but you got to make sure to like, you can't overdo it all at once, basically, but you got to build your way up. And like I said, this is important because this feeds the micro, like humans are made of like 80 trillion cells. So we have a bunch of microorganisms in our body and a bunch of different little things in our body, and they all need fed and they all need a factory. And if your mind's not clear, if you have no energy and you feel like crap, you're not going to be as good at wholesaling. That's why I do this. It's like, well, that's part of why I do it. I want people to be healthy. Like, so it's just simple. You gotta be doing your best to be your best. And then how do you know if you're getting enough fiber? And the answer is simple: eat a pound of salad and see how your gut reacts. Honestly, that's it. That's my trick. That's my tip. Like, if you eat a pound of salad and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and it's like, okay, you're probably not just. If you're a little discontented, if you're like a little on it, then like, okay, you're probably not too bad. But some people have bad reactions to that, so you have to go upward. Like you have to small and then go up if you don't have fiber. And fiber is basically just leafy greens, anything like a salad, honestly. And the moral tip, a moral lecture will be coming up, so you guys gotta skip it this time. Yay, good for you. Yay. Alright, template of pulling a list. Found in Learning Marketing for AI Prompt. Credit due to Anthony for contributing that. And that's right here. So you can learn, if you can go to Learn Marketing, there's a ChatGPT AI post that Anthony actually did. I think the image moved because I'm pretty sure it was up there with the other one. I'll post it at that. But yeah, that's a great place to go to learn. We're going to post a lot of these. And the rest are actual examples that I have done and got lists from. So these are examples that I have done to actual government programs, and this is how I've gotten their lists. So One example is feigning ignorance because if they think they already pulled one list, they're likely to give you another list. So it's like, hello there, my name is Brandon, and I have forgotten the actual county office I used to ask this request from. So I chose county clerk, and I am looking for a copy of code violations lasting list ranging from December 1st until January's current date. I use it independently. I apologize if this was the wrong department. Can you please forward my request to the correct department? Thank you. So if you noticed here, I actually said I have forgotten and I used to ask this request. So that shows that, hey, they can kind of trust me. If you say something like this, they're actually way more likely to trust you for doing it than if you just sent a blank one. Even if you're not in their records, they're going to be like, oh, they're people. They forget. They're going to be like, oh, okay, he probably just asked it under another name, or he's done it before. He knows how it goes. This is how we're going to do it for him. And then for repeat, if you're continuously asking for the same list over and over and over, you can say, hello, I'm continuing my public data research and was hoping you could again forward me a request to the Code Enforcement Department for a list of active code violations in the county. Thank you. Or you can just send it straight to the email if you have them for the code department. And then a general list. So if this is your first list you've ever done, this is actually one of the first lists I ever pulled right here. This is a fun one I had to add. So I'm a taxpaying citizen and local requesting a list of all the code violation properties that have been reported since the start of September for private research, preferably both in Spokane and Spokane Valley. When I asked the code violation city hall receptionist, they said to go here for request data. Thank you very much and happy Halloween. Now I think the two important parts of here is the thank you I gave. You want to be nice to these people. They give you the information and they give you the leads. I mean, you want to be nice and kind of like human-like with them. The Happy Halloween is a little, I mean, whatever season it is, you can add on. And just adding that little touch of the thank you. If you've noticed, I did it in literally all of them. If you're not doing the thank you, you need to add that for sure. And then the other thing I did in it is I said private research and tax-paying citizen and independently. These three words let them know and reassure their minds that you're not just pulling these lists, doing devil's work with it or whatever, or selling them or doing something bad. That reassures them, okay, it's just a person looking for some info. If you're in person, you can say things such as like, I'm working on a project, I go to college, I have a son in college, something like that. I mean, that's a little bit lie, but I don't recommend lying if you don't have to. But if you're nervous your first time, pulling lists, it's understandable. Like, it's your first list. Like you can kind of be like, a little Weasley on it. But I still recommend being nice and still treating them good and being honest when you can be. And you should be. And then I was gonna pull a list for Spokane County, and I'm gonna show that right now. I have to change over here real quick. Oh, my browser closed. There we go. Or actually, I could either do this, or I can also show somebody if somebody wants somewhere to get a list pulled. I can do that as well. I'll do both. So Spokane County is not like a normal list kind of a thing. So you basically got to go through a portal. So for it, I would do Spokane County portal because I already know it has a portal. Most places have portals, so you would be able to log into here, into Brightly, and then you go my portal, and then for this, oh, this is applications. So this is a bit different. This isn't the one I want to. I'd go into login, and this is where I would be logging in. I'm not on this computer. Give me a second. I'll see if I can log in. Let me see if this password is secure. Okay, cool. This is nice. I should have had this prepared, but that's okay. Well, actually, let me see if I can find the other portal too. And you can always find different kind of portals, like I was saying earlier. So, oh, my other laptop is dead. Are you serious? Okay, I might not be able to log in right now. That's embarrassing. That's not good. But basically, in this, you would go and then you would do a request. It's going to be on the left side. I'll post an extra video to that. Let me see if I can find an image of it, maybe. Because then I can just explain. I pulled this like literally 30 times. Okay, maybe not 30. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's not on this computer. Okay, but oh, public records. Here we go. We can maybe do list pendants at least. I can show that. Okay, so for here we're in the public records list booking county. Yes, these are two different websites. It's kind of a little complicated for that. But if I wanted to get pre-foreclosure stuff here, I can go as pendants, search, and then oh, that was list pendants. Pretty sure. I'll stick with foreclosures. That's just the stats of it, which is actually good information. Wow, I'm kind of failing a little bit here. That's okay. Let's see if I can do it to the clerk website. Yes. Who am I hearing? Oh, okay. Nice, nice. What up? So this stream, I'm gonna let you know because you're a little bit late too. This one is different than last week's stream, where and the one before it, where last time I was having audio problems where it was coming through. This time it is not gonna be like that. Everyone in Discord is completely not a part of the speech, and it's just me because I figured it out with OBS basically. So it was just a different one. Right now I'm kind of looking for. I'm trying to get the list pendants for this one. It which it's kind of funny because I've done it before, but oh, there's probates. We could go probates. So yeah, so county clerk, like I was saying, the county clerk always has it, and you can find the probates right here. Now this one is paid last time I checked, so I'm not gonna obviously pay for it, but it shows. Where is it? Where is it? It shows the email there. You could always email the clerk. That would be good. But I wanted the actual. Oh, interesting. No, that's not. That's what I thought it was. I thought they updated it. Okay. Well, we kind of get that one, though, I think. So that would have been the email I would have gone to. I could have asked him. That was the county of the clerk email. Actually, I can go back to history and show it. That's the most important thing because basically it's going to show. It also has a number here if you wanted to call, and you can get any list from this. So, yeah, the clerk's office is pretty much the best. I know I have pulled this pen. It's been a while. It's been like a year since I worked in this area, so I know I have pulled list pendants. It might be the other website. They have two. Does anyone have anywhere they would like me to try and pull a list, or at least see a list, and get you a connection to somewhere? Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Did I spell that right? I'm just making sure I have it first. Okay. Okay, click. Mhm. This is where you're at right now. Mhm. 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 Okay, I see you. I see you. The easiest way to get, because they might have labeled it list pendants. I'm gonna try that real quick for you, just because sometimes they do that. No, okay, they didn't do that, or at least they don't have it. Departments. What is it? Yes, that is always yeah. Did you find an email? An email is pretty easy too. They don't mind ever actually just getting the. Oh, it looks like this. Okay, we'll find you an email at least. Yeah, this would be legal forms, and this is probably the ones. I'm wondering if they have the ones that like have already been publishing legal notices. This might be it, or this is the laws. One of the two. Law notices. That's just law notices. Okay. Appraisers obtaining documents. And remember, these are all Different. Every single one. Yeah, it looks like if you're gonna do this in person, for documents, it's gonna cost, but yeah, that's why I'm recommending email. And here's the email for it. So I'll post that in chat. Mhm, mhm. Correct. Yes, absolutely. Mhm, mhm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So pre-foreclosure, they're gonna lead you to it, and I'm gonna go back to the other document just to give you my examples to show that again. So 1 second there. No, you're good. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah, but most of those will be tax delinquent 2 years. Like I said, they in order to get marked as a tax delinquency, they they have to miss two payments on it. And typically, if you're not paying your property's taxes for more than like 1 year, okay, understandable, you just forgot. But 2 years, you're typically already have a warning by then, so it's a pretty good list. I would recommend it. And then so going back to yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I would recommend for your first one, if it's in your area, which it is, this script right here. I copy and pasted I don't know how many times, but you literally just and I'll have the whole document I have like you said posted this time, and I'm gonna upload the video. You're gonna be able to basically just kind of do a similar script to it. Just change your name, change the area, and then change the dates because obviously like it's not September right now, so you can't do September. Yeah, yeah. And then when you're following up with it, you do that one. Mhm. I would do January. I would do January well, I mean, matters the list. That's actually the next topic. Because for I would do like late January is not bad for most lists if it's a smaller town, which in Pretty Thurston is county. I'm kind of familiar with it, so yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, Olympia is not that big compared to most cities. For a national for a capital, it's very small in my opinion. Um, so I would say that you're probably good till like the end of January, all of February for sure. But you could even start on January, probably like January 15th through current day is what I would recommend. I'm gonna look just for one more second while we stare at this screen to see if I can find the pre-foreclosures for you, because that would be way cooler. But at least you have the email now, and that email will be awesome because it even says to request the documents through that email. So mhm. Oh yeah, so that's typically dependent on whichever one. Like honestly, they're all different. It matters which department they work with. Code violations, I usually give them around a week to do it, but some will be like police records. It'll be usually within 3 days. Pre-foreclosures are quicker too. It kind like they're people, you know. It just matters how much they have going on their plates. It never takes longer than 2 weeks, though. I would say never, never. If it's longer than 2 weeks, you might have to remind them and do like a whole new, basically, document, like sending an email or like recommending them. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I. Oh, I found the portal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll send you this. This is what you want. This is what it is. I kind of wish I would have not done that off screen. List pendants or notice of default. It is correct. I don't know exactly Latin for it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so this right here, this is where I kind of want to make I'm so tempted to make an account right now to show you guys. But you would go to a submit a request right here, records request on this website, and right there you have the police records, you have the court records, this is or the general records, it's gonna be one of those for the pre-foreclosures, and that should be the big ones, but this whole submit a request thing around the side, if you message general public records and you ask them for whatever ones they want me to make an account, which I obviously don't have. But if you ask whatever this next page leads you to, it's going to be like a message, kind of like a like a any kind of default online messenger thing. If you ask them for any type of list, if you could point me in that direction of it, the person, and you say thank you, be kind to these people, they do us good work, and they will do it. They will 100% do it. The only thing I might be seeing is I don't know, some might cost money. I don't know which ones. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, it just looks like it's printed copies. It just looks like it's printed. Or maybe it might be five. It says 5 cents per four electronic attachments. So you might be looking at like $1 or two, like something not 10 cents per gigabyte. Nice. There we go. I like that. So yeah, you might have to pay a little bit for some of the lists, but some of them, like the list pendants, are going to be free. The notice of defaults, the foreclosures, those will be free. That's public information. They'll just give that. The probates, that's the one that usually they typically charge for in my experience. And yeah, that's one that's pricey. Yeah, yeah. I think you're going a good direction. The foreclosures aren't too bad in Washington, and also code violations are pretty good. And that's my recommendation. Yes. Anyone else have a county they'd like me to do, or like try to find the portal for if you've never seen the portal? I'm tempted to. Wait. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Nice. All right. Yeah, it sounds like you got two. All right. Nice. All right. Yeah. No, I'm down. I'm down to help. Clark County. Okay. What state's that? Oh, okay. Nice. Oh, two Washington people. Oh my God. Technically three with me. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. I actually have a guy I'm JVing with. I'm pretty sure we pulled Park County records before, to be honest. I know that sounds bad, but I've got called so many lists that I can't keep track of that shit. I just can't. Okay. I think I'm still streaming. I'm still streaming, right? Yes, I am. Cool. Awesome. So first we're gonna look public request list, find it fast, and then public records request portal. There we go. See how it's the same thing? This is what I was talking about earlier, how all of the government is basically like people think of it as separate departments, but it's really not. It's all one big umbrella. Like they all kind of operate very similarly. So, were you looking for this or were you looking for something more specific? Because I could go a little farther if you need. So I just did, yeah, yeah. You go county clerk. Let me see if I can find specifically the county clerk email. Because that's a great place to start. Is like I love the emails and calling. It's gonna be. Oh, it has the people. I don't want the people though. I mean, I kind of do, but let me see. Oh, that's just the council. Okay, I understand. It's because it's Clark. That's what fucked me up there. Okay. Spell the R. So I got those two going. Yep, here we go. This would be where you would find a lot of the information. I'm looking for the email. Oh, this might be foreclosures right there. Oh, no, that's what you're looking for, but I think it is. maybe? I don't know. But let me, where's the email? They usually do the email on here. Oh, there it is. Nice. So there's the probate clerk. So this is where you would find probates. The civil department's where you're going to probably go to get court enforcements. Criminals for the police records. Um, Appeals might be pre-foreclosures as well. That's a little bit of a hard one. But I'm going to copy these to you right now. Wait, who was this again? Was this Rihanna? Okay, thank you. So there's that one. And then here's where you're going to make, the second one is going to be the one where you actually make the account and then you request the information from them and send the email. That'll get you some lists started. And then I'm going to go now to Andres, Page County, Illinois. Perfect. So I'm also going to do, what kind of list are we looking to pull, homie? Chinatown King, where you at? What kind of list are we looking to pull, homie? You good? A little bit. But which list? Yeah, I get you. I get you. No, no, we're gonna get you guys going real good right now. Code violations would probably be, yeah. Oh, okay. I'll do two then. I'm gonna do probates and the, I don't know why I started did a new page. I'm gonna do probates for you, and I'm gonna do the county clerk, which is gonna be like, I'm gonna give you the portal like I did at Triano, but I'm also gonna show you where you can probably get the because I would recommend probates and code violations. Probates are easy to talk to. There's not a lot of rush. There's not. It's just you have to go through kind of a lot of them to be honest. But like once you get to it, they're typically just grieving. They're a little bit sad, so you got to be aware. You know, if you've ever lost anyone, what that's kind of like. Um, and just you got to be okay with that. But they're not gonna yell at you. They're not gonna curse you out very much. They're just gonna like they're just gonna do their thing, and you can help them with that. And the code violations is like somebody that has the most feedback, so that's the best one to sharpen your teeth on, I'd say. So, anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. So, yeah. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. So this will be that's the next part of the lesson. So just kind of stay on for that. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say because it's we have like one page left of the document that I was on, and basically it matters which list, how often you're gonna go through it, and also what I mean. To be honest, I don't really have the problem pulling the list and like calling it and like refreshing it as much as I do going through the list. I mean, like I'm already so fucking behind with so many, but like there's just like there's just so much info, especially when you reach out to multiple markets. Then like there's literally so many like leads you have. It doesn't even become an issue. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Oh, this is where I'm at. Okay. So I see a number here. I'm gonna give you the number for this. This is who you would call for uh asking some questions about code violations, and then I'm gonna go deeper though. I know they have a portal they probably do somewhere. Yeah, yeah, there's gonna be it should say the office on here. Let me see. Oh, I see. Oh, nice. That's easy. Yeah. This is vital records, property tax. Oh, okay, this is where you go. Clerk data request, and then digital maps. They do this different than most people do. That is not what I'm looking for. Who would pay $1,000 for that phony code? Right? No, yeah, no one, no one in their right mind. Okay, this is just the ordinance code. That's not what I want. What is it? Reports maybe? This one's a little different than most. I will say that much. Yeah, I can show you the. So this will be the um there. I haven't even done the AI yet, but like the AI can add a lot to like where you can find. So you go to the clerk of court, and this will be the building. Oh, what? Why are you doing this? Okay, I'm gonna copy that right there. That's what you're looking for. So you can call them with that first link I gave you, or you can send that. Now I'm also gonna switch over to a different browser, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna show you the different browser how you can do this with AI. Because like the way I'm doing it, I've done it before. That's why I can kind of go so fast. And like you guys aren't like incapable at all. This is actually like when you haven't done it a lot before, it's kind of like where the fuck do I even start? So, but the easier way to do it with like kind of like a little cheat sheet is like I said in the beginning is you can use AI to just ask for a like an information or like some website or even the actual location of the place. So I'm going there it is. Okay, switching the screen there. I'm also turning my camera back on. I forgot to do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so right here, if I wanted to do, we're gonna go, like this was like another question I was answering with a guy. And actually you need a license, but there's ways around it, and I know ways around if anyone's wondering for the Exactly, exactly. Yep. And that's basically what you're gonna have to do, or you're gonna have to JV with people. If you have any questions about that, you should be good for your first one though. That's the big thing. After that, you gotta basically find ways to JV and get around it. But like, there's always ways. So you can go um, pre-foreclosure list, and the AI tools results. How do I do the AI again? Usually it auto pops it up. I don't want to make this complicated. Let's do AI. No. That's not what I want. Okay, we'll just do code enforcement. So see that one, it did do it. So this gave you the information I sent you earlier with the phone number, and did that. So basically, if you're trying to be in a hurry, this would be the way to go. You would just basically type in enforcement email or phone number or whatever you're looking for, or Clark County phone number. It should do it for that. No, okay, that one it just did this one, but usually AI does do it. You can activate it. You can't activate AI easier. I usually block this stuff, so that's why mine is not as good. I use DuckDuckGo and stuff like that, and more or less on it. One note I will say when I switch over is that when you have uh, pre-foreclosures on, you can get some of these lists online uh, with different softwares, but also like Zillow and stuff. I kind of forgot that until I showed it. They do show pre-foreclosures in auctions sometimes. They're usually listed for $1 or blank though for the for sale for that, and you kind of got to jump on them quick. But that is a way for anyone who's done it. So there we go. We got filled in the pulling a list. I helped you guys there. How often should I pull a list? Like I said, only when you can focus on a list or give it time to go through your other lists as well. Do not sit on a list and just pull it and not use it. That is something I have regretted very much through my wholesale deal. I deeply wonder how many deals have just slipped through my fingers because I didn't go through a list and I just half-assed it. I basically was like, I'll just go to a different market now. I'll just do this. I have shiny I have shiny object syndrome sometimes. So I recommend going through your list as much as you can. You'll feel much better when it's completed too. And then every market is different. I give different answers, but this is semi-typical. Okay, so never pull back more than a year. So whenever you're getting requests, don't do more than a year, because it's going to most likely already be wholesalered, which isn't a real word it says, but I think that's a real word. Where there's already basically somebody that's gone and stolen the deal, or not stolen, but like they did the deal. They already beat you to it. It's been a year. You can, but it's gonna more than a year ago. You're getting way too much info, unless it's a small area you're selling. So like if it's a very small area, very small thing where you go like, hey, I had 50 probates for the entire year. Yeah, go ahead. Or like, you could do back a year. That would be fine. If you want a more detailed, here's the recommendations. Probates at the end of each month and halfway through the month or every 2 weeks. Code violations at the start of each month and then one more time through any time of the month. You can ask for specific dates, but do not spam them with doing these switch between lists. Switching between lists can be very helpful. And give a break sometimes, especially at the start. Pre-foreclosures every 3 months or 3 weeks, and it works best at the end of the month. Tax liens after April each month once, and water shutoffs, I mean, really whenever, and same goes with the fire damage. But again, do not spam these people. The only one that's more typical to spam is code violations, and even then, if you do not have a direct email, don't push the boundaries too hard unless it truly seems like they don't care at the start. As you do it for a longer period of time, say a year, then you can make it a habit of doing it every 2 weeks for code violations or whichever one. Because at first it's like you're requesting it, it's new info to them. But once they pull a list for you a couple of times with the same county, then they're not gonna say no to it. They're just gonna do the motion. They just know the work, and they have it in a subconscious program. Is what it's called. They have a program literally of giving you lists, which is like a program of giving you money essentially, which is amazing. Uh, all right, what's the best contact list? All right, what's the best way to contact lists? Sorry, I misread that. You filter them, you skip trace them with TruePeopleSearch.com or cyber background checks or paid software such as Deal Machine and XLeads, and then you can do a triple tap system if possible. The first step of that is leave a sticky note into the property, and then to text, and then to into a call. Mattering the list, of course. Everyone knows probates answers calls, and not everyone knows that, but I like to say everyone knows it. So probates are good for answering calls, and everyone knows that facing foreclosure are not people in that state of mind is not in a good state of mind. So they may need to do more time, for more of the time you might need to actually text them and go through it that way, and not just do it. I totally worded that wrong, but I'll fix it. The best ones is for door knocking or water and power shut off, and code violations either. I forgot to include that one. So you can do any of the ways with code violations, but I highly recommend driving for dollars and just doing this typical leave a sticky note on the property, text, and then call. But I mean, okay, actually, I'll finish this off and then I'll go up to what I was gonna say. But Brandon, you said that the second best list. What's the first best list? And driving for dollars list and self-made list will always beat the other list because only you have access to the information possibly, and you can be the first one to the punch every time. Which means if you see a crappy property and you go knock on that person's door and they're not facing a tax delinquency, they're not pre-foreclosed, and nobody's reported the code violation yet, they still might be interested in selling. Or if you leave a sticky note, which is more realistic than door knocking. Door knocking kind of sucks, in my opinion. But just to go back to the beginning here. So the king, I'm just gonna call you king for short. If you were to start on code violations and probates, you have literally the first two best lists. You literally are doing the best list, like that you can get basically. And if you get a probate deal where a code violation only has, this one's like 10K, like I said. A probate can be up to like, I think it's like a 20K average, to be honest. It's insane. It is crazy how much probates. That's why I'm working probates right now. Like that's what we want to do. Is like we want to get these three lists. So if one of these three isn't on the list you are doing right now, I would definitely add them. Probates doesn't have a lot. It's not going to distract from the other ones. If you want to just get an easy one. Pre-foreclosures, it matters the area. I mean, Zona might have problems with it. I don't know, because there's a lot of pre-foreclosures there comparatively to like, somewhere that's smaller. Um, the but the number one chance of getting a deal is going to be the code violations, just because of the pure quantity of it. It's purely a numbers game, and if you haven't gotten your first deal and you want to get your first deal and you don't care how you get your first deal, I would go with the code violation list. And it's super easy to get. Like I said, the county clerk, you can just contact them and then follow kind of the script I said below, almost for a T actually, because these were made for code violations. These were made for when I was pulling code violations back in Spokane. And after a while, you'll work with people who will bring you lists. It's very typical to JV with lists. I should add that. I'll add that. Just a note on the bottom for the next people is JVing lists. I'm not gonna type it as I go, but so typically there'll be people that I don't want to say lazy because it's not the correct word, but there are people that would prefer in the wholesaling to give you a list and how you call the list and you work on the list and you go put sticky notes on the list, you go door knock, you go text them, you go do the work with that, and they would like just a part of it back. Now, the best people will have buyers when they do that. They'll say, hey, I will give you a list, you can call it, you can get a deal, and then I will have somebody that buys the property first, we'll do 50-50. That is a good JV deal. That is something where you are actually working together. It might feel like the other person's lazy because you're the one making 10,000 calls, but I'm not literally, but you're the one doing all the work. It feels like, but they are providing a value of the buyer, and if they're not providing the value of the buyer and they're just giving you a list, I would say probably not worth more than 10%. I'll be real, and there are so many people, me included, other people as well, that will honestly just give you this because we want you to come back with a deal. That it's not even worth stressing out. I mean, I'm not even the best at pulling this. There are people out there that are wholesalers that can pull just about any list in like 3 minutes flat, and they can go get it, and they just have to wait for the email back. And as soon as the email gets back, they can give you the list. And I mean, that's crazy. That is, they can do it so fast that for them, they'll just do that and help other people out. And then it makes more sense for those people to bring them back deals because they're the ones that helped. So that's why people JV lists. And you can find a lot of good deals in government lists. So I hope we all can find those good deals. Does anyone have any questions? Looking like no. Okay. It was a good stream, y'all. I hope to hear from you again. You have a good night. Bye. Yes, thank you. But the stream is really good. Yes, of course. I was gonna make a joke to you.
What is that?
My success is as guaranteed as my stinkiness is now.
Your stickiness?
Stinkiness.
Stinky. Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
I'm glad to see you smile a lot better. I know you lived a life that didn't smile often. Or at least not sincerely. I miss being part of the consumer class.
What are you talking about?
Buying the things I wanted.